In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the ways that I approach supporting students in learning how to teach vocabulary. You can see here our Brightspace page for the week where we focus on vocabulary instruction in the EDC 516 methods course for TESOL. I begin by overviewing the content for the week, and you can see that we dive into this first step where we think about which words we teach. So how do we identify the vocabulary that students will need to be successful in that lesson, the vocabulary that students need to continue to support their academic language development, which includes words that they will be using as they engage with text and reading, but also extends beyond that into their writing and their oracy. So we watched this brief video from Dr. Cindy Lundgren, where she talks about the concept of bricks and mortar words, and we think about all of the different ways in which we can approach identifying vocabulary in our instruction. We also think about this through the lens of tiered vocabulary, and we read a few different articles that help students think about what words they will teach and how to go about supporting students in learning new vocabulary. So you see this chapter on selecting words to teach, and then this chapter focusing on how we can build academic vocabulary through specific strategies. And then here we have some additional readings that talk about introducing, practicing, and assessing vocabulary in the classroom. So we get into what it means to teach vocabulary instruction in context. And then this chapter really gets into how do we assess students' understanding of vocabulary that they've engaged with. There's a few additional resources. In this activity, students then think about root words and the power of root words for supporting students' vocabulary growth, especially for multilingual learners who may already know some words in their home language that correspond with English words because they share a root. This is especially true for Spanish and English, in which 30 to 40% of the words across the two languages are cognates. So it's a great way to help bolster students' vocabulary development in English and in their home language, and to support them in making sense of text as they read. And then you see we have a discussion forum where students do a self-analysis of their own vocabulary teaching, how they select words, vocabulary lessons that they've done that have really worked well, vocabulary lessons that have not gone well, and why they didn't. So they think about how they can improve their own vocabulary instruction. And then they have to apply that to practice and think about what that looks like in their own context. So this just gives you a sense for the deep dive we do into our Teaching Vocabulary Week.